Aloha and welcome to the Spirit of Sports, brought to you by notpods.com. This is Uncle Chi coming to you live from the middle of the Pacific Ocean. It is high noon Hawaiian time. If you know, you know. Maybe for now, we're just going to say Hawaiian time. You know, I've been getting some questions. Why is the screen black? I do cover the camera because the reason that we are called Not Pods is that this is not a podcast. This is going to be live internet radio. Still don't know if I'm going to have the past episodes streaming or not, or it's just like old school. I'm an old school guy. I'm plus 50. Still feeling 20, but I grew up with the radio and I want to bring something back of my past. So that's why this is live internet sports talk radio, not a podcast. When I do Grom Squad with a kid, Emalani the Great, maybe when I have other features, I'm going to have Dustin Carpenter. We're going to tell his diverticulitis story on possibly Friday. I think I'll go camera on those. But when it's just me and I'm doing the Spirit of Sports, it's going to be blocked camera because this is a radio show. So welcome. Thanks for joining me. This is August 8th, Tuesday. And this is part 2 of my 8 days, 8 NFL divisions. I'm going north, south, east, and west. Did the NFC North yesterday. We're going to go NFC South today. It's going to be a tough one to call. I will get into that. But just to let you know a little bit of my backstory, my name is Uncle Richie. And back in 2006, I did the spiritofsports.com, and I was actually podcasting, and it was so archaic that I had a studio over here. I would do my show, and then I would download it onto a DVD, and then I would have to download the DVD and send it email to my friend in LA, and she would actually post it onto my website. So things are so much easier now, and that's why my flagship show in tribute to our attempt at fame back in 2006, the Spirit of Sports. You know, I want to make a better life for me. I have a 6-year-old daughter, and sports has always been my life. It's been my dream. I wanted to be the voice of the Beavers and the Blazers back when I was a kid, calling games, which down the road very well could be doing that as well. If you want to listen to game radio style, I'm sure I will be dabbling in that. But I just want to do what I love. I have a great job, and I'm a bartender, server, and I've been doing it a long time, and it's treated me very well. But if I could get out of having to be at work at 2:30 or 4 o'clock, punching the time clock, if I don't have to wear shoes except on the golf course ever again, that is the dream. That's the goal. So this is just a slow-moving snowball, groundswell, grassroots, and asking for subscribers on my YouTube station. I do own notpods.com. I will bring that into effect a little bit later. But for now, just working on my craft. This is a work in progress. Bear with me. But I will be live every day, at least 10 minutes minimum. And that's my plan. That's my goal. I do warn you, it's going to be free for a while. And down the road, I will ask for 51 cents a month. Just a pittance. If I can get that from just a minuscule percentage of the Earth's population, I can make a great life for myself and my daughter and my friends. So thank you for joining me. Let's get into it. This is Tuesday, August 8th. the spirit of sports on Not Pods. We're going to do the NFC South today. Just a little recap on the North. I had the Packers at 6-11 under the 7.5 in fourth place. I had the Bears to go 8-9 or 9-8 over the 7.5, third place. Vikings right around 9-7 or 9-8. Toss up on that. I would not take that in Vegas at the 8.5. And I have the Lions winning the North 11-6 over on the 9.5. So 1 under, 2 overs, and a push if you're going to Vegas. So what I do, I'll be looking at, today is the NFC South, tough division. Not that the competition is tough, but to predict, I think is tough. But what I'll be looking at is the biggest question marks for each team, the over-under win total in Vegas, strength of schedule, the offensive line and defensive rankings, and my predictions. So I got to stop saying so. Help me, people. Let's get underway. I think it's obvious, and I believe one of the worst teams in the league. There's only 2 or 3 teams that I think will be truly bad this year, and this has to be one of them. My fourth place team in the NFC South, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Brought in Baker Mayfield. Lost that one guy. I forget his name. Tim Brady House or something. Oh, yeah, Tom Brady. Had a couple heartbreak playoff appearances. But what an amazing salute to Tom Brady. He just had his birthday the other day. Salute him. And it's the first football season in 23 years where Tom Brady is not under center at the beginning of the season. So end of an era. End of an era might be a cliche that's passed around a lot. This is truly an end of an era, and a great era it was. So biggest question marks: Baker, Kyle Trask, John Wolford. I think Baker's probably one of the biggest question marks in the league. He did have that one great drive when he'd been with the Rams for about a day and a half. Led that 99-yard touchdown drive against my hated, used to be beloved, can't stand them, Raiders. Is it that guy, or is it the backwards hat, cocky, take no responsibility guy? So we will find out. Another question mark: Rashad White, Chase Edmonds, KJ Vaughn. What's going to happen? I'm not even sure. Running back, quarterback. Huge question marks. So let's look. Their defense ranked 20th. I think they'll be a little better than that. Their defense could keep them in some games. Offensive line ranked as 14th. I'm going to tell you the other 3 teams have the easiest, second easiest, and fourth easiest strength of schedule. Somehow the Buccaneers have the 17th easiest. So middle of the pack, 15th toughest strength of schedule. So bad roll of the dice there. You know, the other weapons, I like Otten at tight end. Of course, you got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, Russell Gage. You got a rookie Palmer. So, every time I say so, it's going to be, I think it's going to be okay. On the outside, in between the tackles, I don't have much confidence in under center. Huge question mark. So let's go down the schedule. Bye week, week 5. I never like that. I want my bye week, week 10 or more. Because after that, you got 12 weeks in a row. It's a war of attrition. You know, injuries happen. A bye week, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, so much better to get your rest. So 1 strike against them. Let's look at the schedule. First third of the season, we'll go the first 4 games. At Minnesota, Chicago and Philly at home, and at New Orleans. I'd say you're looking 1-3 square in the face right there. At Minnesota, Chicago should be better. 2-2 at the very best. 0-4, good possibility. You know, I'm even at this point, I'm not sure who I have first, second, and third. You'll know as soon as I do when I get there. Still figuring it out. It's a tough call. So bye week 5, let's go to the middle third of the season. Home against Detroit, home against Atlanta, at Buffalo, at Houston, home versus Tennessee, at San Fran, at Indy. You know, let's say we're looking at 1-3. Detroit 1-4, maybe Atlanta. Let's say they split Atlanta. We'll give them that one. 2-4. At Buffalo, no chance. 2-5. Houston, maybe 3-5. I'm going to give Houston and Tennessee a split. So 3-6 at San Fran, 4-6. Indy, maybe give them that one. 4-7. So 4-7, 3-8 through week 10, week 11 with the bye. You know, I'm more prone to give them 3-8. So let's say they're 3-8 through Indy. Bottom third. Home against Carolina. I gave them the other, so we'll split that. 3-9 at Atlanta. Gave them the split. 3-10 at Green Bay. Jacksonville, New Orleans, Carolina. Let's give them 2 more. 5-12 at best. That's my prediction for the Bucs. 5-12 at best. Could be a 3-4 win team. Definitely going under on the 6.5 if you're taking this to Vegas. Enough about that. Sad state of affairs. Originally, I had the Saints winning the South, and I had the Panthers second. You know what? I think I got to go Panthers third. The Falcons are creeping up for me. Vegas has them at 8.5. Vegas is usually pretty close. They must know something. They have the second easiest strength of schedule. So let's go. We'll look at the Carolina Panthers next. I'm going to say the Panthers finished third in the division. Let me go back yesterday and make sure that we have Packers fourth. Bears third. This is just notes from yesterday. You know, I'm doing this all on my own, so bear with me. Sometimes I got to take little breaks, and I got my notebook. And I will let you know, people, every single waking moment of my life that I am not working or with the kid, and even sometimes I put the kid on the computer and say, here, I got to work. I'm studying, I'm watching shows, I'm practicing. I'm putting my whole life and all my effort into what I love, which is notpods.com, sports, live internet sports talk radio. So realize that it's a labor of love, but I'm putting in every waking moment. Or golf. And even golf, I'm talking to guys and I'm thinking about content. So my third place team. Prediction in the NFC South. Let's go Carolina Panthers. Fourth easiest strength of schedule. That'll help. Rookie quarterback on the smaller side. I mean, he's been a winner everywhere he's gone, but huge question mark. It's got to be the biggest question mark. They are the 22nd ranked defense, middle of the pack. Little, defenses, you just really never know. And I don't have the time to go that deep with 32 teams. And I might have to talk some radio or something. I might have to talk some baseball and NBA here and there. But I'm all NFL all the time until big news, until the playoffs baseball maybe. I just don't have the time to look into every single player and what they did in the draft and defenses and all that. but they are the 22nd ranked defense, 16th ranked offensive line. Not sure how that's going to pan out. You know, Young is mobile. Probably, I think he has a pretty quick release. So I think keeping him upright, or Bryce Young, yeah, shouldn't be an issue. Question: Miles Sanders coming over from Philly in the backfield. Chuba Hubbard. Then they got a rookie, Peoples, not sure. DJ Chark and Adam Thielen. Is he washed up? Does he have a year or two left in him? Terrace Marshall Jr. Gino Mingo, rookie. So Hayden Hurst coming over. I like him. Ian Thomas at tight end. I'd give their playmakers skill positions maybe C plus. Not super impressed. And that's where I think the Saints and the Falcons might have an edge. So that's why I have the Panthers at third. They have the fourth easiest strength of schedule. Let's take a look. The Carolina Panthers, 7.5 under over in Vegas. We'll look at the first third of the season. They're week 7 bye, so that's a little better. I just think, is it like a roll of the dice when the buys are? Because if you get 4 or 5, to me, that's tough. I love 10, 11, 12. I even love 13. Okay, let's go ahead. First third of the season. At Atlanta versus the Saints. At Seattle versus Minnesota. At Detroit. At Miami. Carolina Panthers. Rookie quarterback. At Atlanta, I'm probably going, let's see, what's Vegas have that? Atlanta -3. So pretty much a pick'em game, Vegas says. I say 2 to 3 points for home field. I don't know. I think might like the Falcons there. Let's give a split between Atlanta and the Saints. So 1-1 at Seattle. I think that's a loss. 1-2 Minnesota. 1-3 at Detroit. 1-4 Miami at Miami. They're staring 1-5 in the face. 2-4. Let's give them 2-4. 3-3 is, I think, the best that they could do. Unless they really surprise. That's a tough start. Seattle, Minnesota, Detroit, and Miami. 3 on the road. Weeks 3 through 6. So I'll be nice and give them 2-4. Then we go in the week 7 bye. The middle third of the season. Looks a little more manageable. Home versus Houston, home versus the Colts. At Chicago, home against the Cowboys. At Tennessee, at Tampa. So we said, what'd I say? 2-4. Let's say Houston's winnable, 3-4. Colts, we'll split that, 3-5. At Chicago, I think Chicago's going to be better. Let's go 3-6. Dallas 3-7. We'll give them Tennessee, 4-7. We'll give them Tampa Bay, 5-7. I think best case scenario, they're 5-7 through 12 games. Bottom third of the schedule. Call them 5-7. At the Saints versus Atlanta versus Green Bay. At Jacksonville versus Tampa. Well, so they have Tampa twice. 5-12. Oh, no, we did Tampa. Okay. So New Orleans on the road. Let's give them that one. I think I split with them. So let's call it 6-8. Atlanta, 6-9. Green Bay is just so tough. Let's call it 6-10. At 6-11 or 6-10. I'm looking at 6-11. 5-12. 6, 8, and 9 at the best, but Panthers, I'm going to say 6-11. Maybe 7-10. I think I'm definitely going under on the 7.5. If you're taking it to Vegas. My third place Panthers. Now I'm looking at second place. This is tough. You know, the Falcons are growing on me from what I see. Everything that I see in here in camp, we'll see how preseason goes. I got to go with them second, though. I got to take the Saints to win the South. Atlanta Falcons. Let's take a look. Question marks, of course, quarterback. How many question marks at quarterback? I don't know. Maybe 10 that are not a question mark. The 10 best ones and then everybody else. Desmond Ridder looked okay last year. You know, let's check his numbers. I think he played about 5 or 6 games. Two touchdowns, 708 yards, 73 out of 115, 63.5% percentage on his completion percentage. And I think he played about 3-4 games. So, you know, not terrible. 64%, 86.4 rating. Just huge question mark. You gotta love their skill players. And Taylor Heineke on the backup, so they're solid there. Second easiest schedule in the NFL, behind my first place prediction, New Orleans Saints. So 8.5 is their over-under in Vegas. 28th ranked defense. That sounds like it could be an issue. Not sure what they've done to shore that up. Seems like they did give up a lot of points last year. And the 7th ranked offensive line, always good for a young quarterback. Bijan Robinson should be mega stud. While he's going top 5 to 10 in fantasy football drafts as a rookie. Rookie running backs. It's not an issue being a rookie when you're a running back. Algier, Cordero Patterson, both from last year. Very solid in the backfield. Drake London, Mac Hollins, Scotty Miller, JJ Arcega-Whiteside. Love the receiver crew. Kyle Pitts, they brought over Jonnu Smith. So I would have to say they are loaded at the skill positions. Excuse me. Let's check the schedule. Second easiest schedule. Atlanta Falcons. My second place pick in the NFC South. 8.5 at Vegas. Let's see how it looks. Start out at home, Carolina, first third of the season. Home Carolina, home Green Bay, at Detroit, at Jacksonville, home Houston, home Washington. Pretty favorable schedule. I'm going to give them Carolina. I'm going to give them Green Bay because I just don't know. I have Green Bay on the under. I think I have them at 6 wins. Yep. So let's say they go 2-0 at Detroit, at Jacksonville. That's too tough. Say they're 2-2. Home Houston, home Washington. Falcons very well could be 4-2. Possible 3-3, possible 5-1. I'm going to give them 4-2 through the first third of the season. Then they got week 11 bye. I like it. Right in the middle. Get your rest. Get healthy. As I say, week 4, 5, 6 buys. It's not good, I think, for your health. Much rather have 12, 13, 14. Week 11, just right. So second, third of the season, we're calling 4-2. At Tampa, at Tennessee, home for Minnesota, at Arizona, bye, home for the Saints. And at the Jets. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. At Tampa, we're 4-2. We're called at 5-2. I don't see them being good. Tennessee, at Tennessee, home Minnesota. Let's split that. 6-3 at Arizona. I believe the worst team in the league, 7-3. Versus the Saints, I'll give them this one. We'll split at the end of the year. 8-3. At the Jets, 8-4. Versus Tampa, 9-4. We're looking at 9-4, possibly 8-5. I really believe that for the Falcons through week 14. Look at the bottom third. Let's say 8-5. At Carolina, home for the Colts. At Chicago, at New Orleans. At Carolina, home for the Colts. Let's split that. I got 10-7. I'm a firm 10-7 on the Falcons. Possibly 11-6, possibly 9-8. I think I'm going over, though. I really like the over 8.5. Vegas knows something. Everybody was going under. I can't believe it. Look at the schedule. Look at the coach. Look at the weapons. I really like the Falcons, and I think it's a tight race. And that brings us to my team that I pick to win the NFC South. New Orleans Saints. Derek Carr, fresh start. Get him out of the toxic black hole. Feel for that guy. Kamara, he's going to have a suspension 2, 3, 4, 6 games. They brought over Williams, though, the leading touchdown maker from last year. I think he'll fill in admirably. Benjamin, he blew his shit out, so he's done. Rookie Miller. So two big question marks. Kamara on his suspension, and Michael Thomas. Can he be healthy after 2.5 years? Sounds like he's looking really good. Chris Olave, solid. Shaheed. Braylon Edwards comes over with Carr. Traquan Smith. I like Juwan Johnson. Foster Moreau. Taysom Hill, of course. Foster Moreau. So are they the Raiders East? Wow. I didn't realize 3 Raiders came over. Derek Carr. Small question mark. He should work fine. Pretty good weapons. If Mike Thomas stays healthy. Kamara's not too long on the Goodell report. And yeah, we'll see. Easiest strength of schedule in the whole NFL. That helps. 14th ranked defense. I think they'll be better than that. 24th ranked offensive line. We'll see. Carr's pretty mobile. Most of these quarterbacks, and especially when you have defensive coach. Oh, let's look at that. Falcons have a way huge advantage at head coach. Dennis Allen. It's his second stint. I have not been impressed, so I might have to rethink this. I guess I'm stuck with Saints first. Let's see what the record says. Vegas has him at 9.5 wins. Let's go to the first third season. Week 11 bye. That's always nice. Let's go to the first third. Versus Tennessee, at Carolina, at Green Bay. Versus Tampa, at New England, at Houston. First 6 games. Tennessee at home, Carolina on the road, Green Bay on the road. Let's say they go 2-1 there. Home for Tampa, that's 3-1. At New England, at Houston. Let's give them a split. So I'm going to put them at 4-2. 4-2 through the first third of the season. Week 7. Home for Jacksonville. At Indy. Home for Chicago. At Minnesota. Bye. At Atlanta versus Detroit. So we got them at 4-2. Home for Jacksonville. At Indy. home for Chicago. Let's get in two of the three. 4-2. So 6-3 at Minnesota. Let's call it 6-4. At Atlanta, we'll give them a split. So we'll give them this one. They play them the last game. 7-4. Home for Detroit. Let's call it 7-5. So through 12 weeks, I got them at 7-5, 8-4 possibly. Let's look at the bottom third. Home for Carolina, home for the Giants, at Rams, at Tampa versus Atlanta. Say 7-5. Carolina win, 8-5. Home for the Giants. That's a push. Let's call it 8-6. Give them the Rams, give them Tampa. That's 10-6. Home for Atlanta. Got to give the split 10-7. I got them 11-6 or 10-7. And I would go over. I got 2 overs and 2 unders, NFC South. So just to recap, my 4th place prediction, the Bucks, 5-12 at best. I would go strong on the under in Vegas, 6.5. 3rd place Panthers, 6-11, maybe 7-10. Rookie QB, just not sure, not a great D. I would take the under as well, 7.5 in Vegas. 2nd place Falcons, 10-7, solid. I think solid over the 8.5. And the Saints to win the NFC South at 11-6, possibly 10-7, and I would take the over on the 9.5. I think I would touch them all. So that's eight teams under my belt. I only have one toss-up that I would not bet. And I'm pretty much even on overs and unders. So if we're taking this to Vegas, well, thanks again for joining me. Went over a half hour. The more I do, and if I can make some money, the more that I will be on live with you. This is Uncle Richie from the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Thanks so much for joining me. Please subscribe. And as I say, this is just a groundswell. This is a slow process, slow and steady, never lost the race. Just ask Def Leppard. What do we got? Do we got an ad today? I sure do. This one pertains to my beloved Pack 4, apparently. That's a whole different story. I will get into this later on next week. But what's happening to college football, it's sad, but it's a necessity. And the Pac-12, you know, they brought it up upon themselves. But I'm a Beaver fan through and through, and I hope the Ducks get their ass beat down. The Big Ten, it's going to be awesome. So, let's get to our sponsor. This episode of The Spirit of Sports has been brought to you by Coleman Lanterns. If it's winter in Pullman, you better bring a Coleman, the best heaters and winter gear on earth. That's Coleman. Thanks for joining us. Aloha.